can you believe it's been 2 years since the last Dubai Airshow? And would you believe it? There's been quite a lot happening in that time that's really taken our industry into new depths. But hey, that's all over now. Here we are with the region's largest event that brings together all of the sectors of aerospace, from space to business aviation, from commercial to defence. And right now we're seeing aeroplanes arriving, we're seeing polishers polishing, sweepers sweeping, and I tell you what, the Times Aerospace team are out there trying to sweep up some stories. We're going to be bringing you every day of the week all the news and views and meeting the people that matter. And talking about that, let's go to our studio in the heart of the show floor to Mark Pilling to see what's happening about this week. Mark.
Thanks, Alan. Welcome back to the Times Aerospace TV studio. I'm very pleased to welcome Rob Watts, who's the Director of Consulting at ACC Aviation. Hello Rob, great to see you. Now this show has been really famous in the past for some massive orders. Is it going to be like that this time?
Yeah, maybe not necessarily big orders, but definitely big things. I think along two themes really. One, sustainability and zero emissions aircraft, and two, freighter and cargo aircraft. On sustainability and zero emissions, we've seen several partnerships forged in Europe. We haven't seen much happen in the Middle East yet. We know Embraer has just announced their Energia program. Looking to see if anything will happen here on that front. On the cargo and freighter front, we haven't yet seen a launch customer for the A350 freighter, and we haven't yet seen a launch customer for the 777X freighter, so looking to see for developments there.
Thanks Rob, we'll see what happens with the orders over the next few days. But there is an aircraft that's available for sale, or available for order right now, and Jill Stockbridge has got some news about it.
And out here on the static, Opus has this beautiful Airbus ACJ 390, the most superb aircraft that puts the personal back into private jets, with a gorgeous Andrew Winch design interior. And even better, it could be yours. This is actually available for sale.
Deals are already being done at the show, with Leicester's ACIA agreeing the lease of 2 new aircraft for Bestfly's Cape Verde fleet. The Angolan headquartered operator already has 2 ATR 72-600s and now adds a third. But crucially, Bestfly has added its first jet, an Embraer E190, to allow longer regional flights. CEO Nuno Pereira hinted at 4 more Embraers to join the growing airline soon. Sustainability is a key issue at this year's show, and Dassault was on message, flying its flagship Falcon 8X from France to Dubai using sustainable fuel. The French company will also be in display with its Rafale fighter jet, currently operating from Al Dhafra airbase in Dubai. A confident and assured UAE Air Force and Air Defence hosted the 10th Dubai International Air Chiefs Conference at the Madinat Jumeirah today. The conference explored the expanding role of air power, space and cyber in a multi-domain operations that will characterise warfare in the coming years. But back on the show floor, there is a lot of interest about Russia's proposed Checkmate fighter, making its first international debut as a concept after its unveiling at MAX earlier in the year. The aircraft's appearance at Dubai would tend to suggest that this is indeed the mock-up of a real design, intended as a low-cost alternative to the Su-57 for export customers. Another debutant here, of course, in the Boeing 777X. The Dash 9 flight test aircraft made the 15-hour flight here from Seattle. Of course, the program was launched here 8 years ago. Industry watchers are hoping to see a launch here of the cargo variant. Finally, Embraer welcomed airlines industry supply chain and media to an airline symposium. Sharjah's low-cost carrier Air Arabia's CEO Adel Ali was a key speaker. He railed against the region's governments that still regard their national airlines as a government department rather than a commercial organisation. Tell me which airlines that come from a closed or restricted place are successful, he said. The more that the country's skies are closed, the more that the government stops people from flying, then the worse that the nation's airline becomes. Don't forget, you can get more about all these stories in our Show Business Show Daily, available for real at the show and, of course, virtually online.
Thank you, Ella. Now over to our GCC editor, Jill Stockbridge. Jill, let's find out, how big is the show going to be?
Well, nothing less but the future of aerospace, according to His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Zayed Al Maktoum, President of the DCAA, Chairman and Chief Executive of Emirates Airline and Group. He says the show will be futuristic, modern, forward-looking and creative. He says that it will showcase the future of mobility, space exploration and defence, as well as AI, digital transformation and more. He was addressing the packed press conference that happened just before the show opened, where the excitement was palpable. And certainly, it's no longer a regional show. More than 1,200 exhibitors, of which 370 are new exhibitors, representing 148 countries will be here over the session. The show is very much focusing on emerging technology and innovations this year, with conferences on advanced aerial mobility, sustainability and space being on the top of the list. We also have a new section, Vista, which is concentrating on startups in the industry, with at least 80 companies being represented.
Thank you, Jill. Back to you, Alan.
And so the final touches are being put together. The last bits, carpets being rolled out and so on. The big question, of course, is will it all be ready by tomorrow morning? Well, you know what you've got to do? Tune in to our TATV programmes coming from the show to find out all of the highlights from the opening day as they happen tomorrow. So until then, goodbye.